let people go. You have to understand that everyone has their own individualism, and that's not being selfish towards them. You know what I mean? It's not a selfish thing. It's because you have your own thoughts and ideologies, same as other people, and that's a form of sonder. You have to realize that other people are thinking, they have their own thought process towards things. You can't take things so personal, and we do a lot. We take a lot of things personal, which is, that's your own personal experience. Of course, you can take those things as much as you want. You can take them literal, or you can take them see them as someone insignificant, and it all depends on how you think about it. How I think about it and how you think about it is all that matters. It doesn't matter what other people think, and you have to realize that truthfully, because a lot of the times we get so enveloped into other people's lives that we realize that it's affecting ours. You know what I mean? You can't let other people's emotions affect your emotions, and it's hard to realize that. But how can we do that? How can we realize that we're living our own life just as they are, and we have to understand that what they make with their choices is not, it's nothing against you. It's not a personal attack on your character, which obviously it could be seen as a form of disrespect. That's how you take it. And when I was younger, I would realize that a lot of times I would take a lot of things personal, with people saying things to me, or just being not in my life as frequently as they were, and it's nothing to do with me. It's nothing to do with me. And a lot of the times people realize, or come to the resolution, that it's them. It's their fault for the reasons that other people act towards them, which of course I'm not going to say that there's not reasons for why people do the things. You can definitely affect someone to have that character trait proposed towards you, but you have to realize that there's reasons for why people get out of your life. They can see it as their personal growth. You know what I mean? They can see it as they are growing as a person, getting away from you, and you should let them. You can't be selfish in that way to say, get mad or, upset about that, which of course you can feel your own way about it. That's your own choice. But, I've seen, with my life, I feel like it takes a while to realize that it's not healthy for you to do that. It's not healthy for you to feel those type of things for other people in ways that they don't care about you. You know what I mean? And not to say that people don't care about you. There's always going to be that certain emotion towards people, but you have to just realize that other people are looking out for themselves just as you are looking out for yourself. Just because you felt a good way with them doesn't mean they did. And not to say you have to be on high guard all the time, but to say you have to understand that people are going to go out of your life, and there might not be a reason that you see, but there's a reason that they see it, and that's why they understand it themselves. You don't have to understand it, and you have to kind of form that uniformity and such, where it's understanding that other people have their own lives. And I mean truthfully understanding. I don't mean, oh yeah, it's another individual human. I'm saying you have to understand that people have thought processes, and they have their wired brains just as you have yours. We're no indifferent. And to say, and obviously, we're not different in ways. What I'm trying to say is, yes, we're so unique as this, no one's gonna be me and no one's gonna be you. That's our uniqueness, but also we all are human in such that we are the same race, and we all have certain, ideologies. It's a collective uniqueness, but also singularity. You know what I mean? It's the singularity meaning that we are a group of people together, but you have to understand that there's reasons for people and why they do these things. Not to sound repetitive, but it's through repetition that you're able to understand these things. You're able to repetize in your brain that there's reasons why people are leaving, and there's reasons why they're not. It's because they feel that certain way with you. And yes, you can change that, but also, how far are you from being your own uniqueness at that point? Are you conforming to their ideologies? And that's what I mean. It was seen with Native Americans, assimilation to American culture. Now, that was their means of survival, so they had to assimilate. But would they have wanted to? Really? Probably not. Because they have their own culture, they have their own uniqueness, but they didn't want to. It was just their form of survival and adapting. That's our human nature, to adapt and change our things, because that's how we are, as a human race. That's how we, got brought up. It's, through evolution and migrating to different parts of the world. It's a curiosity, and, that does hurt us. Curiosity did kill the cat. It's just a saying, obviously, but it does symbolize something in the topic that I am talking about. And we have to come together as a whole group and to understand that it is okay for you to leave, and it is okay for other people to leave. That girl, that guy that you're talking to doesn't feel the same way. Okay, it's okay. There's many other people in this world, and yes, those feelings are exclusive to you. You are only feeling that way towards them. You could have the strongest, and of course you can passionately fight for that. It's all your choice, and meaning that yes, it is your choice, but at what point is it going to hurt you more to make that choice, and not to say that there couldn't be a positive outlook, but also, what if that person just had made up their mind and you're just forcing that selfish ideology, assimilation in a nature, almost, you could say. Assimilation toward them liking you. And you have to take it like that, to a literal point. It's understanding, okay, maybe they don't like me, and I want them to like me, so I'm going to try to do this. No, you shouldn't do that, you know what I mean? And it's almost like you're trying to conform them and confront them into their perfect person, but they're not you. They're not your thought process. They have their own way of thinking, just as you do. You can't be selfish in that manner to want to change people. You have to be okay with being, not okay, or just not being. You have to be okay with people leaving, and that's why what I'm trying to symbolize and get this thought process repetized in your brain. It's understanding that through repetition, you'll be able to understand that other people are going to have their own lives and they're going to walk out, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe 20 years down the line you'll see them again. It's through time, and of course you could see it as a time waste. Maybe you want to try so much to get with that person because you inevitably see that whole life with them, but it can't be seen that way sometimes. You have to mature, and you have to do things that you might not like. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times people gain reliance on each other, and it overall affects our growth. And for an example, you could have such a goal-driven drive, for something, and then you meet someone, and then she also has that certain goal, but y'all aren't clicking, y'all aren't have that maturity level enough yet. So you go off 5 years without talking, and then because it wasn't working, you know what I mean? This is just a scenario, just to try to build perspective on something. But those years when y'all were together, y'all had the best times of y'all's life, but y'all were just ignorant towards what y'all really wanted, so you didn't feel happy in that such. So imagine you moved away 5 years, focused on your goals, your drives, everything, and then with time, you brought back together, and you can see it as that. And not to say that's going to drive you to do your goal. You have to find your own purpose without, having that reliance on someone else. But I'm just, creating a scenario for you to understand. And, with those 5 years where you're honing your skills on what you wanted to do with your life, as they were doing the same, you come together as this group again, and y'all are a whole. It's something beautiful, and a lot of people don't do that. They just shut down, But I just kind of wanted to, talk about that understanding. And I'll say it again, you can't be reliant on other people. You can't, of course you can. I'm not going to say you can't, it's your own thought process, your own stuff, but you clicked on the video for a reason, and you're reading this for a reason, but because you want to understand. And not to say I understand fully, but it's something that I like talking about and thought about, through repetition. And you just have to be okay with people leaving you, man. You have to be okay. There might not be a reason. There might be a reason, and that's not your thing. That's not your battle. It's not your battle. You know what I mean? Pick and choose what you are gonna do with your life. You can't just meet someone, conform an ideology about them, and then expect them to stay. You can't build something that's not there. It's a fallacy at that point. You're building your own fiction. It's not true, and it's almost dangerous in that such, because it's affecting you as a person. It is affecting your personal self. So I just wanted to explain that. I just wanted to get that understanding through you. Be okay with people leaving you, and it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. You can't gain reliance on people. You you just can't hold on to something that's just going to negatively affect you. And of course, you are a human being, you have your own thought process. You can latch on to whatever you want, but it's just giving that perspective. I feel like it's being able to understand, okay, it's just building that understanding, honestly. It's hard to put in words almost, because a lot of people are so fixed on, you know, that ideology of people, so they latch on. And how can you teach someone that's so latched on to that, confront, like, you know, that ideology? And that's a part of the human brain. It's so complex that it's neither good or bad, you know what I mean? It's neutral, you know? It's what you choose. And what you choose is what you're gonna do. You just have to choose the right battles, you know, in our society. And of course that's objective. It's an objective thing to say, but to fluctuate, you know, beautifully in our society, I feel like you'd have to understand and realize that people are going to leave you, and you can't make a big fuss mentally or physically about it, because it's just their own life. You know, it's Sonder. It's something that you have to understand, that other people are living their own life, and whatever they do with their life is okay. You know, you could have spent 4 years with someone, and then it's not to say that it's not going to feel hard. It's going to feel terrible, but it's just being able to understand each other as a, you know, whole society, to dismantle this perception on a lot of stuff. It's just to help build a perception, and that's honestly all I wanted to talk about. I hope you gained some knowledge on something that you weren't thinking about previously, and please, I just hope for the best for y'all, and hope you guys have a blessed day, and take into what I say into consideration. Don't build a reliance on people that are leaving. You have to understand that they are living their own life, and it is okay that they walk away. So with that, love you guys. Have a good day.